and the masters of the universe.
Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and said,
"By the power of the Fro, I have the raw power." Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. Here's another one that I hear from JPEG shooters that have tried RAW, and they say, I shot RAW and my pictures come out blah. They're so flat. They just don't look good. My JPEGs look better. Yeah, that's true. The RAW file looks blah when you bring it into Lightroom because there's no corrections being added. Well, let me correct that. When you bring it into Lightroom, there are corrections being added. There's Adobe Camera Raw correction. In Lightroom 3, you can now set it to like a Nikon correction. I leave it on the basic Adobe Camera correction, which you can see flattening it out when it comes in, because you see that first burst where the picture looks cool and then it goes to flat. I make my own tweaks after that. I don't worry about the initial Adobe Camera Raw setting, and yes, the file looks blah, but then you start making those tweaks, the contrast, the saturations, the not the brightness, because I really rarely touch that. Tweaking my exposure, especially when I go to black and white, to tweak that file to make it really pop like I would do in the darkroom. Your negatives were Did you ever print in the black and white darkroom? I know I'm getting excited. I printed in the black and white darkroom a ton. If you printed flat, if you printed your negatives straight out in the enlarger with no contrast filters or anything, it was 18% gray. It was mid-tones. It looked terrible. But as soon as you started to add contrast filters, -5 to +5 different filters, just like we do in Lightroom, the lower the number, the less contrast. The higher the number, the more contrast. I liked contrasty pictures. Excuse me. So I started with a +3 filter, which made my blacks nice and thick and dark, and my whites pretty much white, where I would have blown out areas. But to me, it was about the thickness of my contrast. And to do that, I couldn't just develop straight from my negative, because the file, my print at that time, would look terrible. So yeah, your picture's gonna look your raw file is gonna look blah because you have to make all the corrections to it. But I guarantee you that you making that correction after, in the processing part of it, again, two-part process, taking pictures, photography, and then developing the picture, processing it. It's always been that way, except the only time it wasn't was when you shot Polaroids, and we all know what they look like. What were they good for? People taking naked pictures of themselves in the 60s and 70s so that they didn't have to take it to the 1-hour photo. Not that I know anything about that, even though I collect old Polaroids. So yeah, the file looking blah, of course. Tweaking that, yes. Developing it like you were in the darkroom. Again, these people bringing in that raw file, not knowing what to do with it, knows that they're afraid to do it. They don't know any better. Once they're shown, it's okay. It's like the Civil War. I'm Abraham Lincoln and you're Jefferson Davis. I'm not calling us Yankees or Confederates or anything. It's just saying that I'm not going to kill all the people that are shooting JPEG, like Lincoln allowed those people to go free and join the government and have a say in the Senate. Yes, I'm going to show you the way. Shoot raw, and it's okay. You can join the team. You can buy a shirt. So, there you have it. Flat file to begin with, but awesome file to end with when you process it and develop it.
My name is Lillian, and I shoot raw.